Hello, everybody. So I am super excited. Our training for creating a badass course is coming up on Sunday, and I hope that you have all signed up for it because I'm going to be making some amazing bonus offers. And if you've ever wanted to generate passive income or learn how to step out of a one-to-one business model and start expanding your practice to making more money online passively, this is the training for you. Now, today, I realize we haven't done anything too creative on the feed lately. So I wanted to do a guided meditation about learning how to receive. And, there's a couple of our new members replied to the initial questions entering this group. One individual said, I just started my journey as a therapist and I feel a block of abundance by not believing I can have it. I would like to learn how to allow myself to receive. Another person said, sometimes I feel guilty charging for something that I am naturally gifted in. And I just felt that this was so powerful and so on point when it comes to the major blocks that people have to abundance. It is not information, okay? It's not information. There's plenty of information out there. And, if you're in this group, on this feed, you are actually not too shy about spending money on information. Right? Because if you're here, you've had some kind of training or certification, master's degree, postdoc experience, some kind of extended training to learn whatever it is you do in practice. So you're not shy about investing in information. And, you may have invested in that because you thought the information might make you more skilled in what you do, and perhaps by extension, it would make you money. But you were interested in cultivating something within yourself, right? To bring you some sense of happiness and contentment. Now, when you experience that block to receiving, whatever that investment was, it's contradicted, right? You actually set up a contradiction within yourself, okay? And when that happens, I feel like we get caught up in these stories that we tell ourselves about why we can or we cannot have something. So for example, really many of these stories get caught up in two things. First is what we think and perceive about our own deservedness and worthiness. And second is what we think and perceive about how other people think and perceive our deservedness and worthiness, right? And so as therapists and healers, we have this propensity to get caught up in the idea that being of service has to be synonymous with sacrificing our quality of life to be good servants. Okay? But the problem is that mentality, it keeps you small. It keeps you begging after guilt, and it keeps you bent over shame's knee. And I guarantee you, whatever esoteric, limitless energy source out there that you believe in, whatever omnipotent, intelligence and archetype that you believe in as being the source of all, right, of all that is, I guarantee you, whatever that is, it is not best served by you begging around after anybody or bent over anyone's punitive ideas about what is and is not worthy, what's right and wrong, or what is good and bad, okay? Or what you are and are not deserving of receiving, okay? So if you learn nothing else from this video today, from this entire news feed in this group, I really want you to remember these 3 points, which I hope is drilled into your brain and your heart and your body and your soul. And the first is this: stop comparing yourself to other people and their stories, whether they are fortunate people or whether they are unfortunate people, okay? Secondly, you don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone anything. And no one else owes you anything outside of respect and basic human decency when it comes to our social contracts and human rights, right? Now, if you are to accept this, then you also have to accept 2 more things, okay? And the first is you alone are responsible for your choices. particularly as an adult. You alone are responsible for your choices. And guess what? That leads to number 2, which is other people are responsible for their choices. Isn't that a mind fuck? You're responsible for your choices. Other people are responsible for theirs. Incidentally, the same thing goes for feelings. So this gets me so fired up because we have built these literal, physical, and psychic webs of guilt and shame and obligatory responsibility around social and cultural constructions that have infiltrated our subjective experiences to the point where we are self-sabotaging, when we actually abandon ourselves and our capacities and our soul purpose and our potentialities because we're trying to live up to some concept or idea of what is good in the world. What makes you feel like you have integrity? According to who? Right? So what is wrong with that is we're left with this scarcity mindset because as is within, so is without. And so when you waste time scrambling around to prove yourself worthy to people, you leave your home base unguarded, you leave it unfortified, and you leave it vulnerable to attack. And you can take that in a spiritual sense, attack from negative energies. You can take that in a more literal sense, emotional attack, right? So stop asking for permission to live your life in the way you want to from people and institutions who are, excuse my French, fucked up. They're fucked up. Okay, the whole, our healthcare system's so toxic. It's fucked up. Okay, and so you might love these people. Sometimes our families are fucked up, right? The shit that they put in our heads, it's fucked up because it comes from a fucked up society and it comes from fucked up systems. Okay, so we might love these people that give this fucked up shit to us. We love them. We love them. We care for them. We're in fact maybe aiming to serve them, but they're fucked up. Okay, and so because of that, you may love them, you may respect them, you may want something that they have one day, you may even want to emulate something about them one day. But you know what? Guess what? They can still be fucked up. And fucked up people, places, and things and social and cultural constructions are never going to be able to give you the permission and the validation to live life the way you were born to fucking live it. Only you can step up and say, I claim this for myself. No one's going to hand it to you. You have to step into that. And you have to show the world, this is me, this is my self, this is my due. This is my birthright. No one's going to do that for you but you. No partner, no job, no institution, no parent, no lover. You. Okay? Only you can do that. That is the power that God, source, whatever you want to call it, that's the power God imbued in you. So stop looking to that source to be the one to give it to you. They've already done it. Now you have to make use of it. Okay? So today, in this guided meditation, I want to help you do 2 things. The first thing is I want to help you locate wherever guilt and shame is living in your body. Okay? We're going to locate that. And then we're going to kick it out by alchemizing it and loving it and transforming it, but we're going to kick it out. And we're going to replace it with a willingness to receive what is your birthright. The ability to step into it. Okay? So I pray that in a group of 360 therapists and healers, I am not alone in my sentiment here. And so I would love it if at the end of this guided meditation, you will leave your comments and what comes up for you below. I would love to read that. All right, so let's get into it. So I invite you just to find a comfortable spot. To turn your attention inward, focusing on the breath. Just witnessing without any need to change it, the way the oxygen fills your lungs and the way you are releasing it. Just inviting your soul, your essence, your energy, full permission to really sink down and reside in your sacred temple. Most of the time we walk around with our energy floating just above our heads, and right now we're going to call that energy down to really inhabit the body, which is the communicator, the great organizer of our experience. You don't always want to listen to it because it may feel like anxiety or sadness or fear. And these are all communications that we need to be open and willing to receive if we are ever to move beyond them. And I invite you to feel a little bit heavier in your seat, to notice the contact between your feet, which should be flat on the floor, and the floor. And with every inhalation, I'd like you to imagine that inner space inside gets wider. And wider. There's an ever-expanding expanse inside of you. It is vast. And just see what vastness actually looks like for you. And if you struggle with visioning, just imagine. When you hear the word vastness, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Just follow the inhalation, the breath expanding this vastness until it's almost as if the universe is breathing you. Now I'd like you to know and understand that this is your inner space. This vastness is in fact the entirety of you. And your body is an extension of this. Almost as if you were a book, a magical book and tome, and I were to flip open the book and to just stab my finger down on a page. That point is your body. And right now we're going to take a look at that line that you've just touched with your finger in the great text that is the entirety of you. And this line, this message, it communicates to you a wisdom about wherever your mindset blocks may be right now, to receiving all the abundances that are your birthright in this lifetime, in this timeline. There is a wisdom there. And just imagine that line almost floating up off the page, peeling it off almost as if it were some kind of sticker. And it just floats into your body. And we just request that it goes wherever it wants to go. Just let it go wherever it wants to go. Where does your shame and your guilt reside inside of you? And take note of it. Just witness the way it feels in your body when it finally finds that place. Just notice whatever thoughts, images, intuitions come to mind. And breathe in that wisdom, that witnessing. It is a message and a guidance in and of itself. Just receive it without interpretation. And now I'd like you to approach this, wherever it may be in your body. And you're going to reach out and you are going to touch it. You're going to touch it with love. You're going to touch it with compassion. You're going to touch it with a willing to receive it. And you are going to touch it with a blessing. And this blessing is going to alchemize and transform it. And so I'm going to play the bowl, and I'd like you to administer your blessing now. And just witness the releasing of that. You can either breathe it out on the exhale, or you can just imagine it dropping down into the earth from between your legs. Just letting it go. Doesn't belong to you anymore. And just notice that in that space where it used to be, there is an even deeper expansion, even more room to grow. Imagine as if that vacancy is like your palms open wide, facing the heavens, ready to both surrender and to receive what is your birthright. And you might even open your hands like that right now. Maybe even tilt your chin up. Notice how that feels in your body. And to just imagine yourself receiving grace, receiving abundance. You might imagine it like sunlight spilling over your face, the warmth of it on your skin. You could imagine it like rain, a gentle rain trickling down. Maybe it's stardust that angels sprinkle over you. Perhaps it's wading through liquid gold. Maybe it's just a light that shines from your heart space. Whatever it may be, just witness yourself stepping into that, opening up to that, receiving that, surrendering to that grace that is your birthright, to the abundances that you are meant to have as a messenger, as a servant on this earth. Because you can do your job better. Because you have more freedom that way. Because you have choices and you have influence. And people will hear your message. If you open yourself up to the expansiveness that is your power. This is not power over others. This is empowered. This is your sovereignty. It is time for you to claim it. And do so now. And just notice whatever shifts may be happening inside of you. Whatever images, thoughts, intuitions may be coming to you. It may be coming to you quickly all at once. Perhaps it's a sensation in your body. There's no right or wrong here. Just witness and receive. And breathe it in. Taking it in through the breath, allowing it to diffuse into your lungs, into the bloodstream. To pump that wisdom like a fragrance through your heart space, in your veins, sending it out to every extremity, down to your fingertips, your toes, the top of your head, and even your nose. Just allowing that wisdom to become cell memory, body knowledge. You are powerful. And you are here to stand sovereign on this earth. You do no one any credit or benefit by keeping yourself small. So stop doing it. Stop accepting it. And whatever particular wisdom you have received, know and understand that without interpretation, even in this moment, that wisdom will rise to your conscious awareness when the time is right, through synchronicities in your environment, your own imagination, dreams, and intuition. And you will understand its deeper meaning and know what to do when you are called to do so. You surrender to this awareness right now. And I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. And as I do so, just imagine your awareness coming back into the present moment, back into your body, back into the room, feeling your bottom against the seat and your feet against the floor. 5, every breath getting heavier, a little bit more grounded inside. 4, just breathing it in, making that awareness body knowledge. 3, noticing the air in the room, perhaps wiggling your fingers or your toes. 2, just taking a snapshot of whatever is left in your mind's eye. And 1, releasing an exhale, and finally opening your eyes to return to the present moment. So I hope that you have enjoyed this live feed for today, and I hope that you will join us on Sunday for learning how to build your badass course and curriculum with no expertise or permission required.